What is up, everybody? Bob Stache here. Today we're going to be doing a track breakdown for Make It Work. This track has received major support from Jamie Jones, Rossi, Josh Baker, just to name a few. At legendary venues like DC10 and Club Universe in Spain, as well as Lab 11 Warehouse in England. In today's video, I'm just going to be doing a brief overview, giving you guys some insights on my creative process when it comes to writing. And in a separate video, we'll be doing an in-depth where I dive a bit deeper into every single parameter and how I set up my tracks for the final stage of mastering. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's get into the track. I'm gonna play it from the second break to the busiest drop so you guys can get a feel for it.
Cause if I stay, it hurts you. But if I leave, it hurts you. I ain't trying to move out and desert you. I know sometimes I get hurtful. I guess we going through some hurdles. But if we keeping it eternal, we gon' keep on moving in circles. We need to take action together, make it work. I know sometimes I get hurtful. 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 sometimes it get hurtful. We gon' keep on moving in circles. We need to take action together, make it work.
That is the track. This is a very groovy, very energetic track. So before we dive in, I just want to go through this specific segment of the project where in this part or this process is what I refer to as the writing process. I have different default live sets saved for different goals that I'm trying to achieve. In this case, this is the default live set that I use for just specifically writing. I tend to feel like, before I would try to process, mix, engineer, master, whatever it is, as I went, and I found that sort of created a lot of roadblocks when it came to having an idea or channeling some sort of groove or whether it be a vibe, an emotion, whatever. And as I went trying to tweak these parameters and get very nitty gritty, I would lose the spark or the creative spark. So in this live default set that is for writing, it's a very simple setup. Every channel has a basic rack that just has some EQ, some coloring, saturation, and some compressing, limiting. Nothing too crazy, just the very most basic setup. I like to start the writing from the low end to the high end, so I'll go from kick to bass to percussive elements. From there, I'll build the body of the drums and the drum group, and the mid, the highs of the drums. Once I establish the drums, the groove, the bass, the kick, the low end, then I move on to the melodic aspects of the track, which would be either pianos, chords, synths, anything that is in the melodic space that is going to give the track its lead. Any kind of effects or any ambient sounds, I'll usually leave to the end or include them in the drum group. From then on, I move on to the vocals. Anything that's vocal, lead vocal, ad libs, chops, whatever it may be. And from there, we move on to the last part, which is the effects, white noises, risers, impacts, downfalls, all that good stuff. And then I move on to the mastering chain, where I just do some basic limiting, imaging, stereo mono compatibility. And yeah, that's about it. So let's go ahead and go in. We're going to start with the kick first. So as you can see, we got a loop going here. I really like this kick, and I like the sounds that it has in the high end. As you can hear, there's some what sounds to be kind of a hat and maybe a vocal, sort of repeating vocal in the back, but it's all pretty solid. Moving on to the bass. Once I establish these two, right, the relationship between these two, and it's pretty simple. I just got some, this is that rack I was talking about, where I get the fab filter EQ in here. We got the Saturn, we got some glue compressor, some compressor, some mono on the utility, and a kickstart. Try to keep it as simple as possible, just to move on to the next sound and kind of get the idea just out, and then go back and tweak the fine details. From there, we then move on to the percussive elements, which would be, I'm gonna play some of them here. This is the first one over here. Pretty much just a fill. It's got some transients on it. I like the velocity it has, so you kind of hear the hit. It's got that human feel to it. Play it over here. The sounds better when we kind of play it with. That's just filling in, every 16 bars or so. Moving on to the snares and the percussion. We got a comb fill here. Build up there. Got this snare build here. Then we got another snare build here. This is from the Noizu samples. And then on the build fills, we have an endless smile that's being automated to come up. you can see, it's giving it that energy, that space build up. And then over here on the outro section, you can hear these percussive elements all together. That body, okay, so that is low end, kick, bass, percussion. Then I move on to the rest of the drums, which is this drum group here. I'll play this for you. As you can see, very nice groove there, you know, so it's very full, a lot of body. I tend to spend more time in this writing section, focusing on sound selection and not necessarily fine tuning and tweaking, because I feel like if a sound needs to be tweaked too much out of the ordinary, which is just some basic EQing and correction, then I feel like it's not the right sound. You don't have to do much if you find the right sounds. So let's break this one down. We got a texture. It's kind of acting like some sort of transient drum hit, but it's in reality, when it blends in with the rest of the drums, it gives it some nice character. Up next, we have this top here, really nice top, very full. It's got those very groovy elements, a lot of swing. Next time we got a Congo top. Very much percussion as well, but I include that all together in the group. Up next, we got this other perk over here. And, you know, like I said, all of these sounds is just gonna have a basic EQ cutting off some of the lows, and that's about it. I don't really go deep into it until I try to leave the channels as bland and plain as possible, because I do my very deep tweaking in the next default set where I set up my pre-master. That's the in-depth that we're gonna get into later. Here's another perk. Hitting just a little top, very simple. Another top, doing more body. It's got some top in there. We got the snare, and then we got the clap. So all together we get and on the group, like I mentioned, basic EQ, cutting off the lows. We have the endless smile, building up. We go back over here to the build up. This automation for this EQ. Getting some movement, opening in and out, making way for the other elements such as the vocal and the chords, synths. This will open and close as the track goes in and out. Moving on. So once we have that, let me go ahead and play it all together for you so you can hear. And then we got those breaks where you remove the low end to bring it back to kind of add some variation with the track. And you give people that breather and then you hit them right back with it. Right, so you see at this point we've already established a really good groove. I would say that most of it is done. From here on out, what gets added and doesn't get added is basically just going to give the track its character or its charisma. In this case, it ended up being these chords right here that give it the, there we go. A little backstory with these chords. This is actually from Rave Gen. So I sampled Rave Gen, which is a VST plugin, very old actually, but it has these very nice 90s, 2000s rave sounds. Very simple plugin, but very powerful as well. And before processing out and cutting, I like to, process the sound, not do too much to it. If I do add an effect, I like to commit to the effect, so I'll just freeze it and then bounce it. Another little cool synth here that I forgot about is actually this guy right here, the bleep. And that's actually just acting as some sort of ambient. So diving into this bleep, we have a EQ to roll off the lows, and then we have this timeless right here. I'm gonna A and B this. As you can see, got more of a tail, got some more body in it. So like that. So, you kind of hear it with the other elements. It's there, it's very subtle. I like to go with the, classic less is more. And so you want to keep things repetitive, not too repetitive and not repetitive enough, dance music, people kind of, to get them locked into a groove, they want, you gotta commit to that groove and keep it going. So that's all the synth work for this track. And at this point, we've already established a kick, a bass, the drums for the track, the lead, melodic aspect, melodic element. Moving on to the vocal, which is actually my favorite part of the track.
Cause if I stay, it hurts you. But if I leave, it hurts you. I ain't trying to move out and desert you. I know sometimes it get hurtful. I guess we going through some hurdles. But if we keeping it internal, we gon' keep on moving in circles. We need to take action together, make it work for it.
Yeah, and so this is already post-processed. Like I said, I like to commit to whatever it is that we got going on.
Cause if I stay, it hurts you. But if I leave, it hurts you. I ain't trying to move out and desert you. I know sometimes it get hurtful.
And as far as vocals go, we just got two things going on. We got the main lead vocal, and then we got this chant here, which I really like a lot. Hey, chant. And this is kind of just acting as a surprise or a reset. So if I were to play it, it actually sounds great when it's a break. So let's go ahead and turn off the effects because we're about to get to that right now so you can hear.
Cause if I stay, it hurts you. But if I leave, it hurts you. Cause if I stay, it hurts you. But if I leave, it hurts you. I ain't trying to move out and desert you. I know sometimes it get hurtful. I guess we going through some hurdles. But if we keeping it internal, we gon' keep on moving in circles. We need to take action together, make it work for it. I know sometimes it get hurtful. I know sometimes it get hurtful. I know sometimes it get hurtful.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's a little reset that is playing in after every 16 bars or so. Just kind of notifying the listener that a change is coming. And that's pretty much it for the vocals. Getting into the effects now, which is the last part. So as you can see, kick, bass, percussive elements, drums, melodic, lead, synths, vocal, ad-libs, chants, whatever, effects, vocal effects. Lastly, effects, white noise, risers, impacts, and that's it. That's pretty much about it.
I know sometimes it get hurtful. 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 We gon' keep on moving in circles. We need to take action together, make it work for it. Cause if I stay, it hurts you.